First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rekah Kodash. Give double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone, our spiritual teachers. Salutations to our sincere brothers that goes out on the highways and the byways, risking their lives week in and week out. And shalom to our beautiful brothers and sisters supporting this true doctrine. All praises and glory is due to our Heavenly Father and His beloved Son, who is coming very soon. Shalom. Yeah, this morning I got up and saw this video here. I don't know, it popped up in maybe my recommendations. I'm not sure. I'm not a person that watches the Breakfast Club, right? But anyway, I watched it, and it was about T.D. Jakes explains how to deal with grief, coping with Kobe Bryant. All right. But there's just two main points that, like I said, if you brothers watch it, if you have the time to watch it, and if you're interested to do so, you could draw a lot of things out of what he said. But there's two main things that I saw, that I heard him saying, that was brought into my attention. So I decided to bring out a couple of scriptures on it. Yeah. So let me go back now, because this is the second time I'm doing this video now, right? Because the devil, Satan, he just always wants to distract you, right? So let me just hope that I'm not distracted again. So I wanted to go back into, what is it? Let me see. How far back? 6 minutes, right? So let me go back in 6 minutes. About 6 minutes. All right, let me leave it there, right? Good. And take it from there, okay? All right. So let's just play it, okay?
I've absolutely been there. I went through, when I first got in, especially national, international ministry, all the things that come along with that are hard to manage.
Like what?
Notoriety, interviews, bloggers.
Nasty reports.
Nasty reports. Mine was the Washington Post article, and I wasn't used to that. And I come from West Virginia. I'm a country boy, and I thought I didn't sign up for this. I don't need that. But the reality is, this one woman came into a book signing and changed my life. She didn't come into a book signing. She came after a service I was doing. She'd just gotten out of the hospital. She'd had a tubal pregnancy, and the baby was dead, and she was living with a dead body inside of her. So it almost killed her. She was very weak. She got out of the hospital against the doctor's request and came to me as if she knew what I was thinking and said, "It's for us that you do it. It's not for them. It's for us." And when you go through moments of challenge and pain, you have to find purpose. And sometimes you forget why you do what you do and why you must endure what you endure. And she moved me like in a major way. If it wasn't for that woman coming that day and talking to me, I don't know that I would have been in ministry now.
Wow. Well, do the righteous always have to suffer, Bishop?
Everybody suffers. Everybody suffers. The emblem of Christianity is a cross. That's a big warning that if God spared not his son, he's not going to spare you. Everybody goes through suffering, not just the righteous, the ungodly. Everybody does. It's the one thing we all have in common. No matter how...
Yeah, we all go through suffering. Yeah, but Esau had to go overboard, right? And put that extra affliction on us, extra suffering, okay? Yes, Esau was designed, created for a purpose, okay? All right? Because the Most High made them higher than us, okay? Right? To put us down, all right? Because we have to go through certain things, all right, that we have to pay for, but the Most High used them. But they had to go overboard. Esau had to go overboard, right? So they're not suffering like us, all right? But don't worry, they're going to get their payback, all right? But listen to this point, what he's going to make now.
Rich you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how famous you are, no matter whether you're homeless or living in a mansion, we were all born and we are all going to die. Right. That's the one thing we all...
We're all born, you're right, and we're all going to die. But no, be correct here, all right? Because remember, some of us are not going to taste of death, not the taste of death, okay? Let me bring out a scripture for that now, because if he knew that, we might know. But if he doesn't know, if he said that in the churches, that is going to bring up a lot of questions, right? So he's going to have to just curb around his kind of doctrine, right? His doctrine, I'm not saying his doctrine is the true doctrine. We know the true doctrine that we learn from Great Millstone, our elders, apostles of Great Millstone. That's where we learn our true doctrine from, right? Not from these churches, right? They have their own specific doctrine, right? But that is the false doctrine. So if he said that not all of us are going to die, that's going to open up a different kind of worms, so to speak, as they say in this word, kind of worms. They're going to have a lot of questions. What do you mean some of us not going to die? That's where the spiritual powers come in. All right? People can't fathom about spiritual powers. They think it's all a comic, right? They think it's all Marvel comics. It's far-fetched, right? But they don't understand about spiritual powers. The same way they don't understand about chariots, right? The so-called UFOs. They don't understand that. All right? So let me bring out a scripture for that. And it says in Matthew 16 and 28. Let me start from 27. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Beautiful, Yahweh Shem Yashai. Let's hope and pray that we're doing enough for him to be pleased. Verily, I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Now, if he said that to people, they're going to ask questions. What do you mean to say, I'm not going to die? Huh? I won't die? So I'm living here now in his body, but they don't understand that when the Most High put his spiritual powers on brothers, right? Some of them are going to be beheaded, right? Some of them are going to be tortured, cast into prison, right? And some of them are going to not. They're going to be victorious over death, all right? When the Most High puts that spiritual powers on the brothers, listen to me, right? That's going to open up a whole lot of questions. And that could just lead on from one thing to another, to another, to another, right? I can't go into it. But like I said, it was going to open a whole kind of worms, all right? So let's go back to what he's talking about now. Another point.
And that's a great common denominator that stops you from arrogance and recognizes the humanity and the brotherhood of mankind.
Because they don't know about this. Some churches don't preach about Jacob's trouble. Huh? They don't talk about that. Right? These scriptures are so deep. All right? And they have to be careful what they say, because if they say certain things, it's going to open up a lot of channels. Right? Everything's of the Most High anyway. Who would hear, would hear. Who would forbear. All right? It's down to the Most High from the beginning who is going to be of the elect. Right? Once you are of the elect, you're covered. You are covered. All right? But like I said, it's for the fun of it. You should just watch it. Watch what it is. There's T.D. Jakes explains how to deal with grief, coping with Kobe Bryant. Okay, that's been going on and on about this, about how they miss him so much and how he's this. Already, yeah. All right, but I just wanted to bring up that one point. All right, and the other point I'm going to play in a minute now. Right. So it's going to change a whole heap of things. It's going to confuse these people, right? But the prophets are here to proclaim the truth. But if they hear these prophets, right? Millions of people have heard the prophets, right? On the highways and the byways, or or via the internet, okay, which is the unicorn. People out there have heard from Esau, every single heathens, they've heard the word. Not every single one, right? Not every single person, but I tell you something, thousands upon thousands of pounds have heard the word. They've rejected it, but some have heard. But in these major churches, like his China churches and Creflo Dollar churches and the other Joe Osteen church or whatever, these kind of hypocrite churches, right? If they ever listen to us, which they do, listen to our apostles, our elders, and they do, and if they ever mention one or two things, it's going to question, these people are going to start questioning things. But it's of the Most High. Here in the next part now.
It's that our time is just for a moment.
Yeah, death does not discriminate at all.
It does not discriminate.
Would you want to know? Because we was talking about that this morning. I was saying that yesterday morning. It was it's the unexpectedness of death. I think that shakes us up. Would you want to know?
No, I wouldn't want to know. No, I wouldn't want to know. Some people feel differently about it, but I wouldn't want to know. I want it to surprise me. I don't want to live waiting on a date to leave. I want to live every day to the fullest, not with a cloud hanging over my head about a date that could be 20 years off or 30 years off, and then to adjust my life to dying.
But let me go further, right? Let me just say something else that I just remembered, right? Because when brothers going to receive those spiritual powers, right? You have the elites, all right? They set up their bunkers, right, to hide, okay? And these brothers here with these spiritual powers are going to sift out, they're going to fish out the elect, right? From their hiding places, which are these bunkers, all right? All that they don't understand, right? Because these Christians don't understand that this world that we live in, this earth that we live in is not going to disappear. Right? Because they don't know this place where we're living is going to actually be the new kingdom of heaven. But they can't think that. They think this earth is going to be vanished away, right? And then they're going to live up into the heavens, in the clouds. They think that's the heavens. But heaven is going to be here on this place. All right? So brothers will be receiving spiritual powers to sift out the elect. Right? Right? Sift out the elect. Sift out the elites. Right? Who corrupted this world. It goes deep. That's why I said, you have to be careful, right? These churches have to be careful because it's going to open up a can of worms, right? Righteous worms, all right? Because all these goodies are going to come out there and they're going to say, but wait, all these things that we're hearing, explain. But you know what? That'll just change up the whole narrative. All right, listen, brothers and sisters, Salakia.
I'd rather build my life around living and let death find me whenever it does.
I agree. Now, what are your feelings towards suicide? Because you hear so many different things with suicide. If you're suicide, you'll never make it to heaven. If you're suicide, God will look at you. What are your thoughts on suicide? Because so many kids are...
The first thing that popped into my mind when you said that, it's not whether you go to heaven or not. I think we should work harder to stop suicide. I think that suicide is epidemic, particularly amongst African-American young people, in a way that's reprehensible. One of the reasons that I started the foundation that we're going to talk about is because of mental health. And mental health is a huge issue in our community. And I think you have to understand that a lot of people who take their life, they really didn't take their life. The sickness did. So,
and the Most High created everything, okay? You know that. We know that the Most High created all these things, right? Whether it's good or bad. See, all these sicknesses is demons. It's spiritual, okay? It is spiritual. So when you see a man take his life, there's demons hitting him for spirit to get into you, right? To take your own life. That is all spiritual, right? That's demonic, right? All these sicknesses, these ailments and everything like that it comes from the Most High, right? He uses angels on the left-hand side to come to come upon you, all right? So it's all demonic. But he's not going to say that. He'll just say it's a mental health, all right? And that is it. Then you must take all these tablets, these medicines, whatever, all right? But we know it's about prayer. He's going to say about prayer in a minute, but you know it's about prayer and fasting and eating properly and taking the herbs right to the best and pray. Pray. At the end of the day, it's about the Most High. If he's going to give you that healing or not going to give you that healing, but it's for his purpose. He might want you to remain sick till he comes back. He might want to put it on you for a couple of days or a week or a year or 10 years and then take it off when he's ready. He may not do that. Right? But everything is demonic. It's spirits. Right? So but anyway, I'm going to bring up a scripture about suicide in a second.
So the person who we say committed suicide is as much a victim as if they were a victim of a homicide. Because if you have emotional mental health issues, it affects your decisions and your judgment and your view of life. So to judge that, who am I? I'm not God. So where they spend eternity, I'm not God. But I do think that the person is a victim, and I would think that if you're a victim, we just believe that they're in a better place.
You're one of the first, people of the cloth that actually embraced, therapy and, telling people to go out there and get help for their mental health. Because a lot of times we tell our people, take it to the church.
Just pray about
Pray
it.
it away.
Just pray about it.
Yeah.
And we don't treat it like it's a sickness. We treat it like it's a spiritual issue and it's a health issue. And I think you have to differentiate one from the other. Sure, you're going to pray, but you also do everything you can do to be at the best that you can be. And I do think that prayer is therapeutic, but it is not enough for a lot of people who have serious trauma that they've endured, and they need to be able to
All right, I'm not going deep into it, but I know it says in the scriptures we must go to Esau for the want of all things. Okay? All right? We must go to them. So there's certain things in this world that we might have to go to them about, or maybe a little information. Because you remember, they study every single thing. All right? They're not the true healers. They're not the true healers, but the basic of things they maybe could try and tell you and help you that you might not know. All right? So you have to go to them for the want of all things. All right? But to an extent. But we know where the source is. Right? The real sicknesses comes from these demons, and the Most High put these demons upon us. All right? The Most High could do anything he wants to us. Right? Who are we to say? Even his own chosen, he could put anything upon us. Right? All right? But they're covered, although the elect are covered, right? All right? They're going to go through sicknesses through their life and whatever, but when it's time to put on the spiritual powers, okay, nothing's going to touch them. The Most High could do as he pleases. All right? Right? So it's like a mental health, whatever issue it is, it's all these demons. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. All right? So
they need to be able to heal, and sometimes they have chemical imbalances that causes them to be where they are.
I got a T-shirt that says I go to therapy and I pray.
Absolutely. Do it all.
Absolutely.
I take blood pressure medicine and pray over it every day. pray it works. And let it work, Jesus.
You got the T.D. Jakes Foundation.
Yeah, I started the TD.
you see, you have to pray. That's the main thing. To pray, pray, pray. That's what it is at the end of the day. Right? If your faith is so great, believe in me, although the scripture says we must take the herbs, right? If you're so your faith is so strong, you can actually heal yourself, right? Through prayer, through Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Ba'asham Rekah Kodash, right? Because it's not the herbs that heal you, it's the Most High that heals you. Okay? So everything is spiritual. So let me bring out a couple more scriptures about the suicide thing now. All right? Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Yeah? Verse 1, 12. Right, and it says here, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. Your hands, For Yahweh made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things, that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. All right? For righteousness is immortal, right? So he says, seek not the death. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands. All right? So let me go to Wisdom of Solomon again, 2:21 to 24. Right? Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. As for the mysteries of Yahweh, they knew them not, neither hoped for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For Yahweh created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Right? Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. All right? So we mustn't commit suicide. It's the Most High that does that. Okay? It's the Most High. He gives a life and he takes a life. Right? He wounds and he heals. So let me get that in Deuteronomy. Let me get that in Deuteronomy. Right, Deuteronomy 32. 32 and 39. 39. And it says there, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no power, there's no God, nothing above the heavens and below the earth, below the seas, right? Nothing is higher than the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yashai. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill, yes, and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Right? The Most High created us when he wanted to, at his time, at his leisure, and he can take our life in his time, in his leisure. He could do as he pleases. All right? He could do as he pleases. So that's what the 2 points is. Other points that he said, right? But I'm not going to go into it really, right? So let me go back, right? I'm not going to go into it really. But yeah, you could just watch it, right? T.D. Jakes explains how to deal with grief and coping with the Kobe Bryant situation. You know, they go into it and how this and they're upset about it and blah, blah, blah. You know, the Most High did everything. All right? The Most High created everything. He creates a life. He creates death. All right? But, like I says, there'll be some standing, right, that will not taste of death. Right? So, like I said to you, these pastors, they only can say certain things if they have the ability, if the Most High put the Spirit in them, right? And sometimes the Most High can put the Spirit in them, but they're being false about it. They're not telling you the truth. All right? But they are special men because you're supposed to, when it comes to the scriptures, you're supposed to talk about the good and the bad. All right? That's when it comes to these scriptures, right? So you talk about Jacob and you talk about Esau. All right? You talk about the destruction of this kingdom, all right? And you talk about the new kingdom to come. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Just a quick one here, right? Just a quick one. But if he said that main thing about the death thing, believe me, that would open up a lot of things. The amount of channels that could open up, right? A lot of portals, right? It opened up a lot of things. And it will lead from one thing to another, to another, to another. Because these Christians think that, oh, the Most High is all love. That's what they think, right? That's what they think. And they think that this earth, when it's finished, is gone. Right here, as you're standing here now, as it says, you know, right here as we're sitting, standing, talking, sleeping, whatever, this place we're living in now is going to be renewed. Right? And this place here now is going to be the kingdom of heaven, right? New paradise. But people can't understand that. So with that, all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, right? And I hope you got something from it, yeah? Okay, shalom, bye. Salakia.